Welcome to Town Board meeting Thursday, December 16th. Please rise and salute the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Emergency exits are to my right behind the town attorney and also the door you came in. Roll, please.
Supervisor Perotti?
Here.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Here.
Gutierrez?
Here.
Morris?
Here.
Samoji?
Here.
Hello, I'm here.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to open the public hearing for the Altice franchise agreement. Is there a second?
Second.
Supervisor Perotti?
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes. Yes.
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Morris?
Here.
Samoji?
Yes.
Here.
Yes. Sorry.
7 o'clock.
Are you making a comment on the public comment for the Altice franchise agreement?
On the agreement,
Yes.
yes.
Identify yourself, and
How many minutes do I have?
I don't have a limit. You can, I don't expect you to go on for a half an hour, but
No,
you can
no,
say
but-
whatever you need to say.
Okay, I'm going to suggest the insertion of a section to be added. And the reason I want to do this is because the company, well, first of all, basic is supposed to be something that's protected for the whole public. That means that the basic service, which provides news and information that is necessary for people to be able to make decisions and govern themselves and be active in public life, that's really an essential. And basically, the Federal Communication Commission has said that in its regulations, so that you do have some backup. We're in a context where it's already been said in a number of places in a number of ways that there should be a certain protection of inclusion.
Sharon, can you identify yourself for the record? We know who you are, but not everybody does.
I'm sorry, Sharon Kroger. The other thing is that the State Public Service Commission has a context of regulation which basically protects the citizens and looks out for them so that the providers of Cablevision or other services don't just walk all over people. I mean, there's fairness and due process and all of this. So that's the context we're in. Now, it happens that in this town, on November 1st, there were changes made to the basic provision of basic services. And as I was able to analyze it, they basically were going to ask for $30 more per month just to receive what's called basic. And they wanted to promote with it additional services, adding on to the basic. So in spite of the fact that the company has all of these other types of contracts and services in addition to basic, they have the history channels and they have the sports channels and they have the gaming channels, all of this that's available, they're supposed to be leaving the basic so that it doesn't get all these fringe benefits, but that it's protected so that everybody can get it if they need it. And basically, it's supposed to be affordable. Okay, so by adding $30 a month to basic, plenty of people in this town of modest means cannot necessarily afford that extra, and they may give up their service, and in so doing, giving up their access to news. So this is the problem that I foresee, and therefore, I'm suggesting we add a section, and it appears to me we can add it in section 20, and we would make it a section 20.3. and I'll read you my first draft, and I'll give you a typed copy of a better draft, but basically this is what I'm saying. Franchisee shall also comply with the following Town of Amenia standards, which are consistent with both the State Public Service Commission and the Federal Communications Commission, to wit, number one, regarding inclusiveness. Basic service must include a variety of public and private sources of the news, including such channels as CBS, NBC, Fox News, MSNBC, as well as PBS and C-SPANs 1 and 2, along with minimal entertainment such as Turner Classics, which has always been there, and there's no reason to take it away. Number two, this has to do with rate protections. Because one primary intent of regulation regarding BASIC is to be able to supply necessary services to the public so that all citizens, including those of modest means, can become knowledgeable and capable of self-governance and decision-making in a democracy. It would be inconsistent with these public goals to add additional costs as part of additional promotional schemes to make basic service increasingly expensive or so costly that residents of modest means can no longer afford the service. So I'm suggesting that we put that in as an amendment within the contract. Thank you. And I'll give you a good copy tomorrow.
Monday. Is there any other public comment for the public hearing for Altice franchise agreement? If not, I make a motion to close the public hearing for the Altice franchise agreement.
I'll second.
Supervisor Parodi?
Yes?
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes.
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
Samoji?
Yes.
Is there any other public comment?
Good evening, all. Deirdre House, and Dutchess County Legislator. Just coming to give you guys a few updates. Last time I was here, I know Councilperson Gutierrez asked me about the FEMA in regards to Hurricane Ida, and I'm happy to report that FEMA has released some assistance, recovery assistance for those who have incurred damage from Hurricane Ida. It is now open to residents, renters, non-for-profits, and businesses can directly apply for assistance. The website is disasterassistance.gov, and the application deadline is January 4th, which of course is quickly approaching, but it's a couple weeks away. So anyone that has rendered any damage and is looking for some assistance should go through the FEMA application process and get some recovery assistance. Also, just wanted to report out that the county has opened, I think today, maybe tomorrow, a COVID testing site at the former vaccine site of the JCPenney and the Galleria Mall, and they're now offering COVID testing, and you can go to the county website to get hours of operation, but it's free COVID testing for all residents of Dutchess County if they need a COVID test. Lastly, I just wanted to touch on the county budget. As you probably are all aware, we did adopt the county budget at the end of November, no, first week of December. And we had a few budget amendments, nothing earth-shattering. There was a budget amendment for to hire two recovery coaches, and I will be advocating to get some recovery coach assistants out in this portion of Dutchess County once those positions are onboarded. But I'm just here in case you guys have any questions for me or need any more information. Great, thank you.
Deirdre, real quick, just thanks for the update on the FEMA. We had FEMA come out, when was it, Victoria, 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
They set up here mobile filing day, and it was great.
Yes.
On the COVID testing at the Galleria, we've actually had a number of people reach out to me because some of the local pharmacies around here have stopped offering COVID, and some folks are having to drive either to LaGrangeville or all the way to Poughkeepsie to get tested. There was a mobile testing site set up by the county on this end. I know we're on the
In Dover.
the far away end of the county. We're used to it, but
I understand.
it would be great if maybe we could advocate for even a day or two a week to have a mobile testing site set up on this end of the county as well.
Do you know why they stopped the mobile testing site here? Was it lack of participation or?
Yes, lack of participation in Dover.
But maybe we could get it, like you said, 1 or 2 days a week. That would certainly, especially with our numbers rising. I will certainly send an inquiry tomorrow and ask if we can get a site, even if it's just 1 day a week, or maybe even just set days, like 6 or 7 days in the next month kind of thing. I'll certainly look into it.
1 day a week would be better than what we got. It's a little sparse out here on this end.
Totally understand. I will absolutely inquire.
Thank you for responding to my question about the application for the Play, Learn,
Play, Create.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I will be looking forward to putting in an application in January, if that's when they're going to open it up again.
Yes, it was funded through the budget. So as soon as it was $500,000, and then it was amended to $1 million because it was such a popular program. So as soon as January 1st, when the budget opens, it will be in the part of that budget. And I did advocate that it not all be spent at once, in the sense that, let's say, a Christmas pageant may not anticipate the need until September of 2022. So I did put on the record that the county executive's staff look at maybe releasing the funds quarterly or semi-annually, so that it's not all used up in the very beginning.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks.
Thank you.
I have another public comment.
What?
I have public comment.
Yes.
Dear Town Board members, the average daily rate for COVID infection in Dutchess County is 148 per 100,000 residents. Today's change is a 93% increase over the last 2 years, with 13 deaths and a 15% increase in hospitalizations. Only 65% of Dutchess County residents are vaccinated. In early December, New York State Governor Kathy Hochul mandated all indoor venues except homes either require masks or require vaccinations. This statewide mandate took effect December 10th and gives businesses those two separate choices. The mandate will continue through January 15th, 2022, which is the state will reevaluate the next steps. Some of New York State hospitals were ordered on December 2nd, 2021 to end elective procedures due to the expected onslaught of the Delta unvaccinated individuals and other individuals with the Omicron variant in upstate hospitals. Healthcare officials say a perfect storm of new COVID cases, staff shortages. It looks like she's actually quoting from the New York Times, so I'll go to her comments. Until yesterday, the last we have heard from Dutchess County government is to dire warning of August of our A.K. Vadin, MD Commissioner of the Dutchess County Department of Health. That one coincides with the governor's warnings as schools and other venues have opened up. Again, then she quotes from the Department of Health's website. And again, yesterday she's quoting from Mark Molinaro's comments that were listed in the Poughkeepsie Journal on December 13th of this year. This is not a leadership. This is a political pandering that is costing American lives. Will the Town Board of Amenia discuss this, take a recorded vote to make a public announcement in support of the governor's mandate? This is a necessary of the massive information of public health policy from the highest reaches of our county. I would like the Town Board of Amenia to encourage our residents to get vaccinated to protect residents by explicitly supporting Governor Hochul's requirements for masks at all indoor venues. While we may not have the force or funds to enforce this mandate due to the county supervisor's Molinaro undermining our county Department of Health, I do expect that our town representatives will take a leadership role and publicly endorse the governor's mandate. With that leadership, Those still wandering, I'm sorry,
Wavering.
on vaccines would hear the clear message to get COVID dose and wear masks, thereby saving their lives and the lives of others. As a citizen and a retired public health professional, I am requesting that the town board to make a statement in support of the public health of our town and urge individuals and businesses to comply with Governor Hochul's mandates for vaccination or masks of all indoor venues. And so I received this today, and then yesterday I did receive a comment that she was just looking to see if the board was going to make a comment, and that was part of the email conversation that was shared. So this comment is being supplied by Nancy McKenzie, who has made now 2 public comments, so that way it would be heard on the same issue. And that is the only public comment that I received prior to tonight's meeting.
Okay, supervisors report. Water District upgrade, researching sites to relocate Lavelle Road wells. Altice franchise renewal public hearing is December 16, 2021 at 7 p.m. American Rescue Plan funds. The Treasury Department just released additional information about new portal and report due in April 2022. Highway Garage, recommendation by Crawford Associates is to reject all of the bids and schedule interviews with engineering firms that wanted to do a feasibility study for designing specific requirements of the garage and salt shed. CDBG Route 44 sidewalk grant, engineer will be doing construction RFP in the spring of 2022. 2022 reorganization. The 2022 reorganization meeting on January 6 will begin at 5:30 to administer oaths of office for newly elected and re-elected town officials. Holiday shopping. Please support local businesses and restaurants by shopping for gifts and gift cards there. Town of Amenia COVID-19. The Amenia Town Hall is open for business Monday through Thursday at regular business hours. Masks are required and are available in an envelope on the second set of doors. Masks and social distancing are recommended for committee, board, and commission in-person meetings. Signing the visitor log is required. COVID-19 vaccine information. Go on the Dutchess County website or call Dutchess County at 845-486-3555. For anyone who is homebound, vaccine appointments can be made by calling 845-486-2555. COVID-19 vaccines are available at Amenia Drugs. Call for appointment 845-373-8000. CVS pharmacies, go online to schedule an appointment. Poughkeepsie Galleria, former JCPenney site, Tuesdays from 3 to 7 and Saturdays 9 a.m. to noon. Online registration or walk-in. Free COVID-19 testing is also available at the Poughkeepsie Galleria, former JCPenney site during the same days and times. Town Clerk report.
Good evening. I will start with the longest part of the report, minutes. So as we've circulated and talked about, present the minutes from July 15th through last Friday. Has everybody had the opportunity to review?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to do them in one, or you want me to go each one? Each one.
Yeah.
July 15th,
Motion to approve as presented.
Damian,
Second.
Michelle. Supervisor Prodi?
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes.
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
Samoji?
Yes.
August 5th?
Motion to approve as presented. Oh, sorry. This one I'm abstaining.
I have yours actually noted. I cheated already.
Oh, okay, motion to approve.
Michelle.
Motion to approve.
Sorry, I already thought I'd help him.
Second?
Supervisor Prodi?
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes.
Gutierrez?
Abstain.
Morris?
Yes.
Samoji?
Yes.
August 15th? August 19th?
Motion to
Doyle.
approve as submitted.
Second.
Michelle? Supervisor Prodi?
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes.
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
Samoji?
Yes.
September
Second.
2nd.
Motion to approve as submitted.
Second.
Doyle, Michelle. Supervisor Prody.
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes.
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
Simoji?
Yes.
September 16th.
Motion to approve the September 16th, 2021 as submitted.
Second.
Shall. Supervisor Prody?
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes.
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
Simoji?
Yes.
October 7th.
Motion to approve October 7th, 2021 as presented.
Second.
Supervisor Prody?
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes.
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
Simoji?
Yes.
October 21st.
Motion to approve with one correction on page 3 of October 21, 2021, spelling Halloween correctly.
Second.
Damian. Supervisor Prody?
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes.
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
Simoji?
Yes.
November 4.
Motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Michelle. Michelle? Council, you gotta go quick. Councilpersons, Supervisor Prody?
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes.
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
Simoji?
Yes.
November 18th.
No,
Damian.
motion to approve as presented November 18th, 2021.
Go ahead, Jim.
Second.
Morris. They're playing games over here. Supervisor Prody?
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes.
Gutierrez?
Abstain.
Morris?
Yes.
Simoji?
Yes.
December 2nd?
Motion to approve with the one change that you noted earlier about Damian being present
Present.
on the adjourn on page
The
2.
last page.
That is, what, December 2nd, 2021?
Yes.
Second.
Morris. Supervisor Prody?
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes.
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
Simoji?
Yes.
And your special meeting on December 10th.
Motion to approve December 10th, 2021 as submitted.
Second.
Michelle. Supervisor Prody?
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes.
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
Simoji?
Yes. Yes.
For our abstract, certify that the abstract that was presented to each of you in totaling $180,031.30, with a breakdown as follows. General Fund A, $111,659.42. Highway Fund, $62,199.07. Amenia Lighting, $918.25. Wasaic Lighting, $331.90. Amenia Water, $4,922.66. And again, I'm presenting this evening and seeking authorization for the supervisor to pay claims in the amount of $180,031.30.
I make the motion that we approve the payment of these claims.
Second.
Supervisor Prody?
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes.
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
Simoji?
Yes.
I'm also
Okay.
going to present to you this evening. I'm in receipt of several resignations. This evening, I'm going to begin with, in receipt of a resignation effective this date, December 16th, from the Assessor Chris Borick.
Move to approve the resignation of our assessor, Chris.
Second.
Supervisor Prody?
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes.
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
Simoji?
Yes.
I'm also in receipt this evening, the resignation from Nina Peak from the position, her position on the Housing Board.
Make a motion to approve her resignation with regret.
Doyle,
Second.
Michelle. Supervisor Parodi?
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes.
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
Simoji?
Yes.
I'm also in receipt, this is for effective December 31st of this year, for Leo Blackman, from his positions that he holds on the Planning Board, Housing Board, Wastewater Committee.
Motion to accept with regret his resignations from those committees and boards.
Second.
Supervisor Perotti?
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes.
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
Smoji?
Yes.
I'm also in receipt from Stacy Mantle, her resignation from the Enhancement Committee.
Make a motion that we accept with regret Stacy's resignation from enhancement.
Second.
Supervisor Perotti?
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes.
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
Smoji?
Yes.
Okay. It's just a lot of action. Let's just get all the fun action done. Would you like me to do the recreation report right now? Or do you-
Yes.
Okay. So
Why don't you
we
go
are
ahead
in
and do that?
receipt of the recreation report submitted by Kelly Milano. John Lamb has finished up pitching clinic. He would like to start again February 7th on Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays from 5:30 to 8 for 8 weeks, or until the fields are good enough to get on. The craft table at the holiday parade was a success, and I think that all the kids enjoyed the scratch art ornaments are the best. I can't wait for next year. Well, that's exciting. Again, as a reminder of our ongoing programs. So currently here at the town hall, there's line dancing in the gyms on Thursday nights from 5:30 to 7, followed by karate from 7 until 8. Pickleball has started up on 9/21 every Tuesday night from 6:30 to 7:30 in the gym. Cheer is in the gym on Sundays. The program will run from about noon to 2:30 every Sunday. The girls are working hard on getting their routines together for competitions in January. Come and join us at our next rec meeting, which will be held on January 13th at 7 p.m. to see what we have in the works. Submitted by Kelly Milano. I think that's all I have for this evening, so I'd like to wish everyone a healthy and safe holiday season.
Do you want to do the
Want
committees
to do it
later?
now? I'm ready, if everybody ready?
You're ready.
Okay,
Are we
so-
ready for to
We're-
appoint to the committees?
We're ready. I'm ready.
Okay,
Let's go.
so the folks at home know that the last 3 meetings, this board has met with candidates for all of the open and anticipated committee and board positions. As we know, there's a position on CAC, and you guys have had the opportunity to meet with those candidates. Have you made any
I'd like to
action?
make a motion to add Stacy Mantle to the Conservation Advisory Council.
Perotti?
Second.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
He screamed at you. Supervisor Perotti?
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes.
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
Smoji?
Yes.
We also have wastewater.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to add Charlie Miller and Shannon Roback to the Wastewater Committee.
Second.
Supervisor Perotti?
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes.
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
Smoji?
Yes.
Zoning Review Committee?
I make a motion to add George Bistranson to the Zoning Review Committee.
Second.
Supervisor Perotti?
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes.
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
Smoji?
Yes.
Recreation Commission?
Okay, I think we interviewed Paul Winters for that.
Motion to approve Paul Winters for a position on the Recreation Commission.
Second.
Supervisor Perotti?
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes.
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
Smoji?
Yes.
Ethics?
Make a motion to appoint Barbara Rotovnik to the Board of Ethics.
Perotti?
Second.
Doyle? Supervisor Perotti?
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes.
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
Samoji?
Yes.
Housing Board?
Can I just
Oh, yep, so sorry.
say something, is that the list of current committee members was missing Jeff Barnett Winsby on the Board of Ethics. He is and was appointed, as I
That's correct.
understand.
Yeah, we added him.
We
Oh.
confirm that, yeah.
Okay,
We
So he
confirmed that.
is-
Yeah, he's
okay.
added. He'll be on the,
roster.
he'll be on the roster and in the reorg as being on there.
Okay, so we have all the people we need for that position, is that right?
Yes.
Barbara and Jeff make the extra two that I was
No.
missing. I have Charlotte, Jean Schwager, Lorenzo
His term is
Stefanovi.
who is up this year.
Lorenzo's up?
Ah,
So we didn't,
So Jeff went in to the open spot, because we had 2 open spots. And then because you have one person who did not complete their oath of office, so that was a vacancy there. And then you have the spot that's coming up, so Jeff took over one of the other spots. And then so you had to fill, and that's if you would have went by a sheet that during interview, you have one that's expiring in '25, which is an unexpired, and then you had a full term expiring in 2026. So as of right, you had to.
and we didn't hear from Lorenzo that he's seeking.
Lorenzo came in, he met with me, he left here with the sheet, and he was going to return before noon on the due date, and he did not return. But I know, everybody else filled out the form.
So right now, that leaves us with 4 people on there.
5. Well, 5 with who we
Well,
just appointed.
Lorenzo is on till the 31st.
Till December 31st.
So he's
So that'll
still on
make a
that.
full board until,
So there's a full board.
on January 1, you'll have a vacancy.
Okay, Amenia Housing Board. I make a motion that we add Allison Francis and Charlie Miller to the Amenia Housing Board.
Second.
Supervisor Prodi?
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle?
yes?
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
Samoji?
Yes.
Board of Assessment Review. And is it Lauren?
Laurent,
Laurent?
Lauren? I make a motion for Lauren Levin to be put on the Board of Assessment Review with her term ending 9/30/2026.
Second.
Damien. Supervisor Prodi?
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle?
yes?
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
Samoji?
Yes.
Planning Board.
Victoria, we had discussed seeking an opinion for some of our issues there. Do you want to do this now, or do you want to wait until that has come back?
I'd like to appoint Robert Boyles
Okay.
for his full term. Make a motion to appoint Robert Boyles Jr.
Second.
And reappointed for his full term.
So that would expire on December 31st, 2028. Supervisor Prodi?
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes.
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
Samoji?
Yes.
And I'd like to make a motion for Robert Boyles Jr. To be chairman of the Planning Board.
Second.
Supervisor Prodi?
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes?
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
Samoji?
Yes.
You have the ZBA and
And
the ZBA
our-
alternates.
And we're waiting on the other seat for the Planning Board?
I would suggest we wait for that opinion to come back.
Where is that opinion coming from?
The Board of Ethics.
And how long is that expected to take?
I will find out.
I make a motion to, for John Terry Metcalf to be chairman of the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Second.
Supervisor Perotti?
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes?
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
Smoji?
Yes.
So I'd like to make a motion for Brian Distelberg to be an alternate on the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Second.
Supervisor Perotti?
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes?
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
Smoji?
Yes.
And I'd like to make a motion to appoint James Wright to the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Second.
Supervisor Perotti?
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes?
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
Smoji?
Yes.
There's a second alternate position on the CBA. Are you leaving that vacant?
I think he has not expired, is he? James Walsh?
Yes, he is.
Every year, they're
Every year they
one-year
have to
terms,
be
so they have to be
reappointed.
reappointed.
Oh, I see.
We just need to reappoint them.
Motion to reappoint James Walsh, alternate to the ZBA?
Second.
Doyle. Supervisor Perotti?
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yep.
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
Smoji?
Yes.
And we're going to wait on the planning board, which isn't effective till next year anyway. But I think that covers pretty much.
So I have a question. I understand there was according to the minutes, an application for the kitchen committee, but I don't remember seeing it.
We only had the one person.
Can you go ahead and forward it to us so that we can talk to him and see what he had in mind?
Sure.
So that we can decide if we want to promote that and try and find additional people.
It was that night, so I'll,
And were there
Email, send it out.
others for the broadband committee, but we decided not to have
Well, we
that
didn't have a
committee?
purpose for the committee.
I see.
Yeah, so again, just to,
So we're just not going to, did they get contacted?
And actually, the county
Okay.
is leading an initiative. Is that correct, Deirdre?
yeah, there's a survey up right now.
It's an online
Could you-
survey, which is kind of,
Yeah.
there is a survey that has been released by the county. It's an online survey to assess broadband needs. It's a little, it's an online survey, so you know, that's all.
Oh, that's kind of ridiculous.
But so anyone who, you know, maybe doesn't have internet can get to the library or have a neighbor who may have internet, they can do the online survey. I agree, Vicki, it's a little, but there is a survey, and certainly some of the ARP dollars have the ability to assess and fund some broadband issues, so I think that's why the survey has been released. So I would encourage anyone who can to do the survey.
Yeah, I shared it on Facebook for what it's worth. We might want to put it on the website as well. But the URL for that survey is dutchessny.gov/high-speed internet, all one word, or all mushed together. They're not only asking whether or not you have service, but they ask, how does your speed, was the quality of your service, how fast is it, how reliable
That's
is
all
it?
important.
It's very important that people go and respond to that survey. Part of what the county, and you can jump in here, but this is to help inform how the county uses some of those federal resources that they are going to receive from ARP to assist with the development of
Well, we
rural
can put a
broadband.
link on the website for
That would
people.
be, if you could put a link, that'd be great, because you're absolutely right, Councilperson DeGutis. It is about a needs assessment, so obviously the greater the need, the more dollars will be directed that way. So, and certainly we all know that there is an issue with high-speed internet and broadband in this area of the county. So I think, if, the more people that can do the survey, the better will be for directing some dollars.
Can I suggest that we, in doing the housing board survey, we printed out the survey and paper copies were put in a waterproof container outside of the town hall. So even if the town hall wasn't opened, somebody could stop by and get that. It seems like that worked well. We got 12 paper surveys that way, and we had a separate box as well for dropping them off. So they could fill it out right then and there, put it back in the box. So it seems like if you have a chance, that has worked, it worked reasonably well.
Sure. I'll absolutely, look into that and see if we can get it at a couple of the town halls. I know Town of Washington has some of the same broadband issues, so I could certainly reach out to the town hall there too and see if we can collaborate and do something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, there's actually PDF versions of the survey.
So it's printable.
So I'll send it to Dawn and we can print them out and we can put some up at the.
That'd be great.
Yeah. And then on the same vein is just that I think I would request that if we do get any applications at all, that they come to the town board so that I can reach out to them and say there is this survey, or keep them abreast, or let them know that we did in fact appreciate their volunteer
So we did
application.
not have the interview because the way it was last left was that we were going to get the description because the committee doesn't exist. So there's nothing to interview them for.
I don't want to interview, I just want to see their application so I can get back to them and thank
Sure.
them
Is that all
and
right?
see if they might be recruited to other active committees. So Industrial Commercial Incentives Board, we did have Catherine Lee interested in that position, but I guess we're not ready to appoint people for the industrial
Yes, we
commercial.
can. If you want to go ahead and do that.
I'll make a motion that we appoint Catherine Lee for Leo's seat, which I know is vacant.
Second.
Supervisor Perotti,
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle,
Yes?
Gutierrez,
Yes.
Morris,
Yes.
Samoji.
Yes.
And do we want to appoint the constable, Justin, I don't know his last name, to the Emergency Response Committee? Is that,
It's part of
No,
reorg.
he'll just be put on
he'll
to
just be
the
there? Okay,
reorg.
we don't have to appoint him. Okay.
Yeah, he's taking Chris's place.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, is town clerk? Are you
Is
done?
that I think that's enough appointments tonight.
Okay, highway department.
We are scheduled next week to talk to FEMA to discuss the damages and the next process for reviewing funding for Hurricane Ida, as you mentioned. And I have submitted paperwork for the reimbursement for Deep Hollow. We've been out using...
For the hazardous mitigation
Yes.
grant?
Yep. We been out using our boom mower that we purchased for the town of Beekman. That's been working great. And we've been working on getting trucks ready for inspections. The last 2 days, we've been working with Lee's Trees, taking down some unsafe trees. And I have a resident in Wasaic that's concerned about a tree. It's losing branches. There's branches, big branches overleaning her house. I had Sean look at it. It's something that he can't handle. It's too tall. There's a lot of wires in the way. Anything he can actually reach and rope is worried about coming down, swinging, and into the power lines. Only thing he can recommend is getting it down would be with a crane. I contacted 5 other tree companies. They pretty much agreed with Sean, and there's various price quotes. The 5 that actually gave me prices are from $5,500 to $15,000. And there's some that will not, even wouldn't give me a price because they're, the power lines are too close to the tree.
Yeah.
I have contacted NYSEC yesterday because the tree is so close to the lines. So hopefully they're supposed to come out and take a look, see if there's, something maybe they can do with it.
I'm going to follow up with NYSEC to make sure that they'll do that.
I think when they look, they'll get back to me and let me know. There is 2 other big trees behind it. It's a sycamore tree. I mean, Sean's bucket truck's 75 feet and can't even reach the top. These 3 and the other, any tree that falls there is going to be on the house. So.
But we would need a crane to take the tree down, right? Because of the height of it?
That tree, yes. Yep. But the most important thing, I think, is to really decide to figure out if it's an actual town tree.
That's important.
Yeah, it's between the sidewalk and the road, right?
That one, yep. And then there's 2 more on the back side of the sidewalk.
It's enormous. I mean, we could all like hold hands and stand around it. And
So what do you need from us to ascertain if that is in fact within our right-of-way? It's a significant cost to the town. So I wouldn't do it lightly. I would, make sure.
See if we can get survey from the homeowner.
Do they have a survey?
If that's the next question, is if they have a survey.
Okay.
I do believe Ian I talked to Ian about being a user road.
So, I've seen photos of this tree, I haven't seen it in person, but depending on where the tree sits, if it's on the homeowner's property or if it's on town property, whoever owns the land owns the tree. The town has a right to maintain its roadways and keep them in clear, safe passage, including pruning any trees on people's property that may be dead, dying, broken, fallen branches. So the town has a right to go in and prune for that purpose. NYSEG has a very similar right to do the same thing for their power lines. That's why I think contacting NYSEG in this situation would be wise to see if we can get them involved as well, because it's obviously a concern for them, and there's a ton of wires in this area. So as far as a legal point of reference, I think the first thing we need to do is see who owns the land and then go from there. Okay. The part and parcel to that is also determining whether or not this is a a road by use or a town road by dedication. Looking at parcel access and looking at this, my guess is that it's a road by use, but we would have to look into that and research that issue to find that out.
Where would that be recorded?
I would first want to check the deed for the homeowner. I would check all town board minutes to see if there's anything in the town board minutes ever dedicating that road, and then see if there are any deeds on file anywhere indicating that the town owns the property.
Do you have any records of, about that road, Furnace Bank, or?
Not really. I mean, my CHIPS paperwork doesn't.
Just different things that you've done on the road, but no other records of anything about that tree?
We've always, with the tree?
Yeah.
I'm sure maybe over the road something might have been trimmed along the way. I'm not sure.
Well, it sounds like we need to do some research on that. And I'll follow up with NYSEC.
Okay. Should I see if I can approach the owner to maybe get a survey, see if she has anything, or
So will you speak to the owner about that?
I can ask?
Okay.
Okay.
And then just let me know what else you need from me.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Thank you. Other committee reports?
The Wastewater Committee met on December 6th. The main topic of conversation was the survey, which has gone out to all people with an Armenia address. And it's also discussion about an independent foundation that would help defray the operating costs of a wastewater system. And I said that as long as it didn't have any connection to the town itself, that it was independent, that it would be legal. And there was a slight discussion about eminent domain, which we are not going to do. A little bit too expensive, particularly if you don't have the cooperation of the landowner. So
I think as far as fundraising, it's important that we don't solicit any donations, right? So
we can.
We cannot.
As a town board or any town,
Committee.
any official town entity cannot do that.
Right.
It has to
We
be
can't
independent.
solicit, but we can accept.
Sure.
Yes, that's correct.
Correct on both counts.
Thank you, Councilor.
I have committee reports in my town board report. Do you want me to wait until my?
No, you can go ahead and do them now.
Okay. So for Enhancement Committee, the Amenia holiday lights and Christmas tree got erected by, thanks to Eric Eschbach, the chairman, Enhancement. He installed and put the lights on the large Christmas tree at Fountain Square, added the stars and garland to the light poles. Darren Hinault of Tent decorated the concrete pots, so that was very nice. He's not part of Enhancement, but that was very nice. Ken Hale of Maplebrook School provided the sound system for the tree lighting on December 5th, and without it, it would have been impossible to hear anything. So thank you to Ken Hale. Thanks to Nancy Nowak, who provided a lovely certificate to the Citizen of the Year, DJ Riley, and thanks to Victoria for making the announcements at the tree lighting. Wreaths of the Town Hall are up. Wasaic Holiday of Lights, they're up and mostly working. The Christmas tree is lit. It needs a little help, but it's lit. Missing damaged the seventh light pole across from the Lantern Inn. It got run over. I don't know if you all remember that, but Megan wonderfully is willing to, found the damaged post, and John Andrews said that the pole itself is fairly ubiquitous. Those poles are meant to be swapped out, and that he'll look online to see if he can find another pole that we can just put in and put the missing lamppost back. It looks kind of stupid right now because it's designed to have 4 across the back of the parking lot, and it's missing one. So we did not decorate as fully as we normally do because that missing pole, and there's a missing light, and thankfully Megan is going to look at the light bulb and see if we can get that replaced because it kind of looks stupid with the pole lit and the light itself being out. So it kind of like calls attention to the fact that we don't have one. So we need to keep backup light bulbs for these historic lights on hand so that we don't wait for a month to get the specific.
Vicki, can I ask a quick question? Mm-hmm. We have a long history of poles getting run into in that parking lot.
Mm-hmm. Well, only one that I know of.
Well, the electric pole.
Oh, the street pole.
Gets hit all the time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, but that's in the middle of the parking lot.
Right.
Yeah. And it's not our problem.
Well, I'm just wondering, my recollection is that that's Metro North's property, but do we actually lease it, or what is the?
No, that's a kind of an as of right. We have historically used that. We did do the research when we had to install those lights, and that whole area has been utilized over time for so long that it's just town-owned, town-maintained parking lot.
So can we pave it or and put up maybe bollards to keep the things from getting run into? Or
I think that's a
it's always
Megan question. You know, she plows it, right? You and your crew? You don't plow
No,
it?
he doesn't.
Who plows it?
I'm assuming Jeffrey, or? usually
Yeah, the town
plows it.
doesn't plow that.
The town does not plow it.
No, we've never plowed
No.
it.
So when we installed those lights, we had no problem establishing it was on our property. So whatever documentation in 2007, when we installed that lighting, they did the research, they said it was used as of a right, and over time, we don't have a deed, it was just kind of available. That's the best explanation I can give you, but I can assure you that it was our property to put in the lights.
That would make sense because, you know, with the recent planning board review of the
Right.
green barn down there, they relied on that as part of the parking.
As all of those businesses.
Right. So
They'll
I
have
just,
to.
if it is our parking lot, we should maybe pave it and put up some protection to keep those poles from getting hit or something. I don't know. It's,
If it's dirt or blacktop, I mean, if car backs into it, it's still going to get backed into. No matter if it's blacktop or dirt,
I like the idea that maybe the bollards or something
something in front of
to
them.
keep it before a car could get to it. They would get, you know, hit the bollard
Maybe
before they
just
hit the light.
a concrete thing so that when you realize you are pulled up to a specific, you don't go any further. You don't actually
yeah,
have
like
to
a
hit.
parking-
Yeah,
like
just
a-
a parking curb. Is that expensive to put a curb at each designated spot?
I can check on pricing for it. I mean, as far as blacktopping, is it actually our property legally to blacktop it?
If it was ours to put grant-funded infrastructure on, I'm sure that also would be ours to maintain, right?
But we don't have to blacktop it.
No, it's not on my,
That would be an expense.
no, it's not anything
well,
on my
if it
chips.
is, if it
chips
is
where I get money.
the municipal parking in Wasaic, that
is,
the
by
planning
default.
board is relying on being available for businesses when they're doing their reviews and everything, then we should think about paving it. I'm looking at parcel access. It looks like the Metro North line and our town road line is like right in the middle. These things aren't super accurate, right?
No.
I
They're
mean,
not.
Yeah, so it's unclear. But
I'm unable to issue any opinion as to the legality, the ownership, as to what
No,
you can
we
do on it, what you
understand.
can build on it.
It was
If you want me to
before
look
your
into
time.
it, then I
But I'll
could do
tell
that.
you
but-
that Metro North has a very specific swath of land through there, so it very clearly designates where their land starts and ends. So by default, the rest is ours, because nobody else claims it, it's not on, nobody's paying taxes on it. It is ours because we've used it. I don't know who did the raised park in the front, but I'm guessing it was ours that has the Veterans Memorial. Who mows that? I don't even know who mows that, but it could use a lot more maintenance down there, let me tell you. It's pretty
No, I think
forlorn.
that whole park is like, you know, the firehouse does the flag and they change it out when it gets tattered, and I don't know who mows it, honestly, but
Probably Jeff.
it seems to be sort of a community maintenance effort down there.
The weeds are up to here, alongside the wrought iron fence.
Right.
It looks pretty sad.
the not knowing may potentially create liability issues if it is a town's obligation to maintain it and they aren't maintaining it. If we're not sure about that, that could potentially create a liability issue. That would be my largest concern with the property and not knowing what it is.
Okay.
While we have you, Megan, and I'm sorry to, just on the Wasaic topic, Vicky,
Yep.
we talked a lot last winter about plowing on the rail trail in Victoria. I don't know if you had heard anything.
No, I'm getting a quote from Northwest.
Okay, so I thought the county
The county.
was going to help
The county,
us.
the county made a lot of promises, but the county won't return calls and emails on the subject, so they've made it very clear they're not interested in doing it.
Understood. And to be clear, this is not you, Deirdre. Somebody else at the county.
Someone with a lot more power
our
than
own.
you.
So I'm still hoping to plant some red tulips in Fountain Square if I have the energy. CAC is working on climate smart goals, checking the feasibility from BQ Solar to see if our landfill can be leased for a hefty annual fee as a solar field. There was no meeting in December, but we're working away still. Amenia Housing Board is working on a summary of survey results from our Armenia Affordable Housing Survey and planning a future presentation, COVID willing, as part of a listening session next year. So we're looking at kind of a hybrid situation where people could participate by virtually or in person in the auditorium, but we have not gotten yet this framework. We're working on that. The meeting was held on Tuesday, and I still have on my list to invite Ashley Lee to present to the town board the options she researched on ways to incentivize affordable housing through updates to our zoning law. So that would be to the town board as requested, and we decided after the holidays was a better time than our December meeting. That's all I have. Oh, and recreation. You know, I have a lot of enthusiasm for the Wasaic Park, and I know there has been a lot of interest in upgrading Wasaic Park, and as part of my town board report, I will pass around some ideas that we've been throwing around, but I really, really want to get some movement going, or at least a landscape architect to draw up what all could go in there. A volleyball court has been recommended, a dog park has been recommended, extending the basketball court has been recommended. The kids have pleaded for something that a 10-year-old or a 12-year-old could play on instead of all the toddler things. We need a higher swing, we need higher a slipper slide. We have a lot of needs down there if we want to do that. ADA accessibility is an issue. We've got a start, but we have never got to square one. And I know that Victoria's already asked the rec superintendent to look at the sign that has been vandalized, but it's not big enough. It doesn't show people where the park is. I ask that we really try and find a way of getting a volunteer architect, a volunteer sign designer, graphic designer, to come up with a plan for systematically making some improvements to that park. Thank you.
Vicki, after we made our presentation to the board and we had that discussion, that's kind of where we left off, right? Like, we need a landscape architect, we need a plan. We looked for grant money for that for a while. Where we last left off with that was, maybe using rec funds to hire somebody. If we find a volunteer, that's great, but if we don't, we should just hire somebody to do that.
I would welcome the Recreation Commission to look at moving this thing forward in Wasaic, because it seems like we have a lot of competing goals for the limited amount of money that we have in that Rec Commission's savings account.
Limited, we have almost $100,000.
Right, but we know Beekman Park alone needs about $60,000 to improve their playground equipment that doesn't meet ADA standards, as I understand. So I know it will go fast. That money, when you start putting in playground equipment, it goes very, very fast. I think the one behind us, we spent about $80,000, and that was with a lot of volunteer work. Thanks.
Okay, are there any other committee reports? If not, we'll move on to our resolutions. Resolution number
65.
Authorizing the town of Amenia to renew the cable franchise agreement with Cablevision Systems, Dutchess Corporation, to operate a cable system in the town of Amenia. Whereas the town of Amenia is a franchise authority in accordance with Title VI of the Communications Act of 1934, and is authorized to grant one or more non-exclusive cable television franchises pursuant to Article 11 of the New York Public Service Law as amended, and Title 16, Chapter 8, Parts 890.60 through 899 of the official compilation of codes, rules, and regulations of the State of New York as amended. Whereas the town executed a franchise agreement with Cablevision Systems Dutchess Corporation on February 26, 2009, which was thereafter confirmed and made effective by the New York State Public Service Commission on August 28, 2009 for a term of 10 years. Whereas said franchise agreement thereafter expired on August 28, 2019. Whereas franchise submitted a proposed franchise renewal agreement to continue operating a cable system within the town. Whereas the town and franchisee have conducted extensive negotiations and have mutually agreed to the terms of the franchise renewal agreement. Whereas the town has determined that the franchisee has the requisite legal, technical, and financial capabilities to operate a cable system within the town, and that the franchisee's proposals for renewal of the franchise meets the cable-related needs of the community. Whereas by resolution number 28 of 2020 and by resolution number 61 of 2021, the town board held duly noticed public hearings on July 2nd, 2020 and on December 16, 2021 respectively at regularly scheduled town board meetings at which a franchisee was available to answer questions and all interested parties within the town had an opportunity to be heard and ask questions on the proposed franchise renewal agreement. Now therefore be it resolved, 1, the recitations set forth above are incorporated in the resolution as if fully set forth and adopted herein. The town board determines that it is in the best interest of the public to award a franchise renewal agreement to the franchisee. The town board hereby authorizes the supervisor to enter into a franchise renewal agreement with Cablevision Systems Dutchess Corporation in substantially the same form as annexed hereto, and to execute any other documents necessary to effectuate the granting of the franchise renewal agreement on behalf of the town of Amenia. Is there a motion?
I make the motion that we authorize the town of Armenia to renew the cable franchise agreement with Cablevision Systems Dutchess Corporation to operate a cable system in the town of Armenia.
Second.
Discussion? I wondered if anybody knew if the last houses on 343...
You have that in the email in your packet.
Oh. And so they have been serviced?
It says, I'm also happy to report that the installation for the customer Route 343 is complete as of 12/2, and he now has service to all 3 units on his property.
Okay.
Supervisor Perotti?
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes.
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
Smoji?
Yes.
Resolution authorizing renewal of dog control housing agreement. Resolution number 66. Thank you, Roger.
I do not see this email.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Okay, all 3 units, that's right.
Authorizing the renewal of the dog control housing agreement with Pine Plains Veterinary Associates, P.C. Whereas the town of Amenia is required by Town Code and Article 7 of the Agriculture and Markets Law of the State of New York to perform certain services with respect to dog control. Whereas the town of Amenia Animal Control Officer is empowered to seize dogs pursuant to the provisions of Agriculture and Markets Law, Article 7, Section 117. Whereas pursuant to Agriculture and Markets Law, Article 7, Section 117, dogs seized by the ACO are required to be properly fed and watered during the applicable redemption period. Whereas Pine Plains Veterinary Associates, PC, maintains a kennel for boarding of dogs at its office located at 2826 Church Street, Pine Plains, New York, 12567. Whereas the Town Board, by Resolution Number 18 of 2021, previously authorized a contract with Pine Plains Veterinary Associates, PC, to provide shelter for dogs seized by the ACO through December 31st, 2021. Whereas the Town Board wishes to renew its agreement with Pine Plains Veterinary Associates, PC, to shelter, water, feed, and provide necessary veterinary services for dogs seized by the ACO. Whereas Pine Plains Veterinary Associates, PC, has presented an agreement to the town, a copy of which is affixed hereto. Whereas the town determines that it is in the best interest of the town to enter into said agreement as above described. Now therefore be it resolved as follows. 1, the recitations set forth above are incorporated in this resolution as if fully set forth and adopted herein. That the Town Board hereby approves the agreement for dog control housing in the form annexed hereto and authorizes and directs the supervisor to execute the agreement by and on behalf of the Town of Amenia. That the town supervisor, upon consultation with the attorney to the town, is authorized to negotiate or clarify any wording, provided the overall expense and liability to the town is consistent with the provisions contained in the agreement. 4, that the town supervisor is hereby directed to provide a copy of the agreement signed by all parties to the town clerk, who shall maintain the same in her files. Is there a motion?
Make that motion.
Second.
Supervisor Prodi?
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes.
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
Smoji?
Yes.
Okay, resolution number 67, rejecting engineering bids for new highway garage. Resolution rejecting all bids received in response to the Town of Amenia request for proposals for engineering services for a new town highway garage and salt shed. Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Amenia, by resolution number 38 of 2021, authorized Mike Haggerty, the Town of Amenia grant writer, to prepare a request for proposals for engineering services to design and construct a new town highway garage and salt storage facility. And whereas 11 bids were received, duly opened and read aloud at the August 19, 2021 Town Board meeting. Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Amenia, by resolution number 52 of 2021, retained the services of Crawford and Associates Engineering, PC, to assist the Town of Amenia in reviewing the engineering proposals received for a new town highway garage and salt shed facility. Whereas based on the review of the 11 proposals by the Town Board with the assistance of Crawford and Associates Engineering, PC, has been determined that there exist many potential design elements which must be considered by the town prior to finalizing any design plan for the proposed garage, and that these design elements will have a direct impact on the overall cost of the facility and must be considered by the Town Board in their decision-making process. Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Amenia has determined it is in the best interest of the town to reject all bids received in response to the request for proposals to consider various design elements by doing a feasibility study. Now therefore be it resolved as follows. The recitations set forth above are incorporated in this resolution as if fully set forth and adopted herein, that the Town Board of the Town by Amenia, the Town Board of the Town of Amenia hereby rejects all bids received, open, and read aloud at the August 19, 2021 Town Board meeting. And I make that motion.
Second.
Quick question. We are going to issue a new RFP, is the plan?
No. What we're going to do is 4 of the bids recommended a feasibility study. So we are going to, next year, asked those 4 companies to come in and interview and select one of them to do a feasibility study for the town. And the 4 that were recommended by Crawford and Associates. I sent you the letter. I don't have it in the packet. I can resend it if you want to see it again.
So we are not, we are starting from scratch in some ways of listening to what they propose as the most feasible design. And then we will select one of those companies who meets our criteria.
Well, what we have to do is we have to look at all the potential designs for the highway garage and decide what kind of heat to put in the highway garage, whether it's radiant heat or some other kind of heat. So there's so many individual components to the design. It would be better if you did the feasibility study. They would hash out what they all were and what would be in the best interest of the highway garage that we want to build.
I think that's very wise. We did that with the landfill. We had them come in and tell us how they would attack it. And each one of those companies had a very specific, they had to go and do their homework and recommend X, Y, or Z and convince us that that was the best and most efficient, cost-effective way of handling this particular issue. And I think that is the right way. Get an engineering firm that we believe in, that we can understand, who has a good track record, and go with some of their recommendations.
Yeah, 3 of the 4 that were recommended have a history with the town, one with the Old Amenia landfill, and 2 other ones that have done projects for the town.
Okay.
So that we're somewhat familiar with some of them.
But just to be clear, we're rejecting all bids.
Yes.
And then we'll be inviting some companies to come in later to...
Yeah, the companies that recommended a feasibility study.
Okay. I mean, I think that, and I'm not the procurement law expert here, but I think that if we're rejecting all the bids, that we should have a open invite to propose for the feasibility study.
We don't have to do that,
No,
I don't
not
think.
necessarily.
No, the invite isn't, the invite is to interview engineers who are going to give you a feasibility study. Some of the names might be the same of what's in that RFPs, who submitted RFPs,
Right.
but it's not, we're basically closing the door on this RFP
Yep.
so we can take a next step to the feasibility.
But the criteria to be invited is not that you put that in your response to the RFP. It's just we're inviting engineering firms to come.
Correct.
Correct. Okay, understood.
We're inviting engineering firms we feel would be the best ones to give us proposals based on, on what we want, or what we decide we want.
No further questions.
Supervisor Perotti?
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes.
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
Smoji?
Yes.
Resolution 68, authorizing disposal of surplus equipment. Whereas the Town of Amenia Supervisor Victoria Perotti, with 1 R, was previously provided a Dell Latitude E5530 laptop computer bearing serial number HF5KWW1 for conducting official town business as the supervisor for the Town of Amenia. Whereas the Dell Latitude E5530 laptop computer bearing serial number HF5KWW1 is now old, obsolete, and no longer needed. Whereas computing devices such as computers and laptops contain stored data and licensed software that are at risk of unauthorized use and should be disposed of in an environmentally and fiscally responsible manner that ensures the safeguarding of the sensitive data and licensed software. Whereas Edmunds GovTech Incorporated is an IT support specialist with the necessary qualification to dispose of computing devices such as computers and laptops properly so as to safeguard the sensitive data and licensed software from unauthorized use. Now therefore be it resolved as follows. Recitations set forth above are incorporated in this resolution as if fully set forth and adopted herein. That the town board of the town of Amenia hereby declares the aforementioned computer to be surplus equipment and authorizes Edmunds GovTech Incorporated to properly dispose of said laptop computer so as to safeguard the sensitive data and licensed software from an unauthorized use. And can I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Supervisor Perotti?
I guess I can vote yes on that.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes.
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
Somogyi?
Yes.
Victoria, my Christmas present to you will be to offer to read the transfer of funds resolution.
Aw, you're not playing any
Resolution
music
number
tonight?
69. Thank you.
Resolution number 69 of 2021, transfer of funds for December 2021. Whereas the town board has the authority to transfer funds when necessary or unanticipated to amend the budget, and whereas budget amendment in the general fund increasing expense line 90108.01 state retirement by $1,735 and decreasing expense line 16204.01.059 building CE heat by $1,735 for additional cost. Whereas budget amendment in the general fund increasing revenue line of 2260.01 public safety services by $123.69 and increasing expense line 30204.01 public safety comm service by $123.69 for sheriff cost. Whereas budget amendment in the general fund increasing expense line 1104.01.131 Justices CE Town Prosecutor by $735 and decrease 11104.01.76 Justices CE Technicals by $735 for additional cost. Whereas budget amendment in the general fund increasing expense line 13554.01.044 Assessor CE Certiaris by $3,400 and decreasing expense line 13554.01.119 Assessor CE Contracts by $3,400. Whereas budget amendment in the general fund increasing expense line 16204.01.062 building CE maintenance by $2,000 and increasing expense line 16804.01 data processing CE by $6,000 and decreasing expense line 16204.01.059 building CE heat by $8,000 for fuel tank monitoring device replacement and cybersecurity monitoring software costs. Whereas budget amendment in the general fund increasing expense line 31201.01.075 police and constables PS by $300 and decreasing expense line 31201.01 police and constables P special events by $300 to cover cost. Whereas budget amendment in the general fund increasing expense line 71104.01 Amenia Park CE by $500 and decreasing expense line 73104.01.121 Youth Program in Senior League by $500 for purchases. Whereas budget amendment in the general fund increasing expense line 90608.1 Medical Insurance Town by $600 and decreasing expense line 73104.01.094 Youth Program CE Girls Softball for additional cost. Whereas budget amendment in the general fund increasing expense line 51324.01.062 garage CE maintenance by $3,200 and decreasing expense line 51324.01.059 garage CE heat by $3,200 for roof repair. Whereas budget amendment in the highway fund increasing expense line 90108.03 state retirement by $816 and decreasing expense line 51104.03 general repairs CE by $816 for unanticipated costs. Whereas budget amendment in the water fund increasing expense line 83104.06 administration CE by $212.15 and increasing expense line 83104.06128 administration CE software by $97 and decreasing expense line 83202.06 source power pump EQ by $309.15 for unanticipated costs. Whereas budget amendment in the water fund increasing appropriated fund balance $599.06.
No, that's,
Oh, yeah.
it's 599.06.
Dot zero. I'll start over. Whereas budget amendment in the water fund increasing appropriated fund balance 599.06 balance by $1,000 and increasing line 83204.06 source power pump CE by $2,632.54 and decreasing expense line 83302.06 purification EQ by $500 and decreasing expense line 83202.06 source power pump EQ by $278.54 and decreasing expense line 83304.06177 purification CE lab by $854 for unanticipated costs. Whereas budget amendment in the water fund increasing expense line 83404.06 transmission distribution CE by $552.51 and increasing expense line 90308.06 social security town by $14.70 and decreasing expense 83401.06 transmission distribution PS by $567.21 for unanticipated costs. Be it further resolved that the Amenia Town Board authorize the bookkeeper to encumber all claims against the town that are received between December 17th, 2021 and December 31st, 2021. Now therefore be it resolved, the Town Board authorizes the transfer of necessary budget lines to process the transactions.
I will make the motion.
Thank you.
By the way, you did a great job.
Thank you.
Yes, you whipped right through that, thank you.
I'll second, but I have discussion. So can you tell us about the $3,200 in highway garage roof repair? It's 3/4 of the way down. It's general fund. We increased the expense line by from garage
Yeah, we
CE
approved
maintenance.
that a while back.
So we had to repair the roof again, or that was the repair that we approved, that I recall discussing? So we had repaired the roof at the highway garage, right?
There was a repair at the highway
we did
garage,
another
and
repair
then they ordered vents for it and did additional repair.
Oh, that's right, there was some venting that you needed
Yeah.
to do? Okay. And then I understand from signing over the bills, at least at some point, I came across a bill that said that we were doing, we hired Precision Roof to do preventative maintenance or to inspect the roof before winter icing, for icing?
It wasn't just for preventative, I had a leak in my office.
I see. So are they coming to do routine annual inspections? Or is it-
Only if there's an issue,
I see.
and I had water coming through my light.
Again?
Yeah, and apparently they sent a estimate for, there's a problem with the cupola.
But I thought we fixed that.
We did, we put the floor in it, and he molded it around, but the problem is that the siding on it needs to be scraped and painted again.
Oh, for goodness sake.
I know. And they also recommended that we put foam in it, foam in the walls up there.
Foam in what?
Because where the cupola is,
Yeah.
some of the, it was painted like 10 years ago, and now
When
it's
we
all,
moved in, $54,000. It was a lot to paint this building. And we did repairs to the cupola and we painted it. And they put copper flashing, we repaired it, it was leaking. So this has been,
it's going through the walls of the siding, because it needs to be scraped and it needs to be painted, and it needs to be caulked and sealed. I mean, it was 10 years ago we did that.
how much is that going to cost?
I have an estimate, I can send it to you, I haven't done anything with it. They sent it to me and it was like, the only thing I did ask them is if they could, to get us through the winter, if they could do some caulking, some temporary caulking, so.
Before it does more damage elsewhere.
Yeah, because that was the first time I had any problem since they did the last repair, but it was that hard driving rain, and I guess it went through the spots where, it needed to be scraped.
Okay.
But,
Thank you for that.
Supervisor Prodi,
yes.
Councilpersons Doyle,
Yes?
Gutierrez.
Yes.
Morris.
Yes.
Smoji.
Yes.
Now, other matters. Need to move some highway money. Okay, so I'm up to 70. Authorizing transfer of unspent highway funds to be invested in a CD within the highway fund. Whereas the town board of the town of Amenia budgeted $60,000 for highway capital projects within budget line 5112.4. Whereas the town highway department used $24,000, leaving an unspent balance of $36,000. Whereas the town board of the town of Armenia has determined it is the best interest of the residents of town of Armenia to invest the $36,000 in unspent funds within budget line 5112.4 highway capital projects into a certificate of deposit within the highway fund. Now therefore be it resolved as follows: the recitations set forth above are incorporated in this resolution as if fully set forth and adopted herein. 2, that the town board of the town of Armenia hereby authorizes the supervisor to invest the unspent funds in budget line 5112.4 and the amount of $36,000 into a CD within the highway fund, that any interest earned or capital gains realized on the monies so deposited or invested shall accrue to and become a part of the highway fund. The town board hereby authorizes the supervisor to execute any and all documentation necessary to effectuate the terms of this resolution. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I second.
Discussion.
Yes.
Megan, excellent job doing all the work that you did and not using up all your budget, and now we get to invest it and make money, and thank you. Done.
Supervisor.
I also wanted to mention that you were given the balance sheet and the operating statement for November 30th, or for November, and it's also in your packets.
Yes.
So we have Supervisor Perotti,
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle,
Yes.
Gutierrez,
Yes.
Morris.
Yes.
Smoji.
Yes.
At this point, I would like to make a motion to go into executive session to discuss matters leading to the appointment or employment of a particular person.
Are we going to have comments from any of us?
After that, because we're going back on.
Oh, okay.
We're going back on after the executive session.
Oh, okay.
Second.
If it's seconded, I was like, I was just going to stand here and see how long it takes. Supervisor Perotti,
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle,
Yes.
Gutierrez,
Yes.
Morris,
Yes.
Smoji.
Yes.
We need a motion to leave executive session?
Yes, we have to make a motion to return to regular meeting.
Second.
Supervisor Perotti,
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle,
Yes.
Gutierrez,
Yes.
Morris.
Yes.
Smoji.
Yes.
Resolution number 71, acknowledging the retirement of the Town of Amenia assessor and appointing a new assessor. Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Amenia by Resolution number 41 of 2019, appointing Christopher Bork as the assessor for the Town of Amenia. Whereas the appointment of Christopher Bork as assessor for the Town of Amenia is a 6-year term which commenced on October 1, 2019. Whereas Christopher Bork has submitted a letter of resignation from the Office of the Assessor to the Town of Armenia effective December 16, 2021. Whereas the Town Board acknowledges receipt of the resignation which was filed with the Town Clerk on December 16, 2021, and thanks Christopher Bork for his service to the town. Whereas as a result of the assessor's resignation, he is unable to perform the duties of his office, and effective today, December 16, 2021, the office of assessor for the Town of Armenia is vacant. Whereas there is an immediate need for a qualified individual to fill the vacancy and perform the duties of assessor for the town of Amenia. Whereas the town has a crucial need for an assessor during the first quarter of 2022, among other things, receive and process tax exemption applications from property owners by the taxable status date March 1st, and prepare and distribute notices to property owners regarding change in assessments and to tax-exempt properties regarding changes in status of exemptions. Whereas the office of assessor to the town of Amenia needs to be immediately filled, so the assessor can be available to citizens of the town of Amenia between January 1, 2022, and the tentative roll date May 1st and grievance date May 24th. Whereas Donna M. DePippo, a current New York State certified assessor, has expressed her desire to be appointed to fill the vacancy in the office of assessor for the town of Amenia and submitted the attached resume. Whereas the town board desires to appoint Donna M. DePippo as assessor to the town of Amenia to fill the unexpired term of Christopher Borick ending on September 30th, 2025. Now therefore, be it resolved that the town board hereby appoints Donna M. DePippo as assessor to the town of Amenia for the unexpired term ending September 30th, 2025, effective December 17, 2021. Can I make that motion?
Second.
Supervisor Purdy?
Yes.
Councilpersons Doyle?
Yes.
Gutierrez?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
Smoji?
Yes.
Okay, town board comments?
Oh, well, my only comment is that the senior Christmas party went off with great success on December 8th. We had a wonderful time. And this year, due to all the restrictions and everything that we've ever had, we were able to take one trip to Lake George, which was fantastic. We were able to do our Armenia Seniors Picnic with the assistance of the town of, how do I say this? The Amenia Fire Company, helping. They prepared the food and everything and packaged it and helped deliver it to people. We had a lot of people delivering, but the Amenia Fire Company had someone come down and deliver us 70 meals down there at Tally Ho. So it was a great time. So even though we had this tough time the past 2 years, we were able to do that. And we're going to have trips starting next year, starting in March. The flyer will come out with all the new ones that are on it. And this is my last board meeting here. I'm out after this. But I want to thank everyone who supported me. Whether you voted for me or not, I know people supported me. And we had a wonderful time learning and about the town and meeting a lot of the people. And I was very happy to be on the float for the Armenia Parade of Lights. Yes, I enjoyed that very much, and it wasn't terribly cold. So I want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas, a very Happy New Year. And for all you seniors, yes, we will be doing things again next year. So you'll be seeing me around and about. Okay? God bless all of you. Good night.
Well, this is my last meeting too. It's been a very interesting 4.5 years. I learned one thing, and that was how little I knew about municipal law and local government. And it's quite a bit. You think, at least I thought, with a small town like that, what could there be to it? You know, there's really quite a bit involved.
Yes.
And I want to say that I admire all of you people here for your dedication to the town. I think you do a great job, and you really are dedicated. I mean, that's been so clear to me over the last 4.5 years. So anyway, I wish everybody a very Merry Christmas, and it's been, as I said, a very interesting experience for me. And I'll be around, you know, if you need me for anything. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Thank you both for your service. It has been my pleasure serving with you in my time on this board with you guys. Thank you guys so much.
No, you're welcome.
I'll echo that. Thanks to Jim Morris, Michelle Smodgny. Congrats to Leo Blackman and Brad Rebellard, who will be with us in January. So congratulations on their win. But I really appreciate all that you guys have done, because each in your own, everybody brings their own talents, and they're very much needed and appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that.
Yes, thank you for not only your service on the board, but your hard work and your sense of humor and and everything that you've done to help the town in any way you could with your knowledge and your time.
Yeah.
I'm going to miss both of you.
Thank you.
And
Yes.
have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and don't be strangers.
No, we won't be strangers.
Is it time for the Morris motion for the last time?
I have a really quick thing. Decorative solar lights, I'm sorry, they need to go up along the rail trail, so I'm looking into that. Bog Hollow, we need to keep those neighbors apprised of how things are going for their efforts to keep their road clean and the junk law violations under control. Kitchen Unified Solar Permit, I want to touch base with you. We said it was in our law already, so we can check that off for the climate smart communities. I just couldn't remember where we were at with that.
Yes, I had sent you an email on that. I can resend
Did you?
Yes.
Oh, okay, so I
Yes.
missed it?
You did respond to it, so you
I
have it.
did,
I can
so
send it
it's
again.
just not in my
Yep.
head. Okay.
I can resend it if you
No,
like.
it's solar,
Okay.
Unified Solar Permit, I should be able to Google it and find it. Okay. Steps for enforcing requirements for training. Oh, yeah, this is a downer, but
What?
I just wondered if we had a series of steps that we could have recommended, how towns are supposed to enforce their requirements for training for planning board and ZBA members. Some have been egregiously unable to complete their training credits. We have a lot of candidates who would like to take a position on these, and I think that we need to have a process in which we write to them, tell them that there's a deadline, remind them of their requirements, and start that proceeding and that give them a deadline so that they know what they have to do. So every year we don't just say, oh dear, we're missing a lot of credits and it's getting worse every year. So I would be supportive, let's just say, of getting Ian or Dave Everett to recommend a procedure that we could follow.
We're already, Ian and I are already working on that. And
Okay.
that was a plan for January.
Super, thank you.
So that's already in the works.
Then I'll
That was
pass
also,
around.
by the way, Vicki, that was addressed in that, that committee guidelines book that we got
didn't-
from the town of Massachusetts, our neighboring town.
Yeah.
And we circulated.
Yeah.
They did address, sort of, so Ian, I can share that with you if it's helpful for.
I do have playground equipment recommendations for Wasaic, and the one from Parkitex was a total of $93,000. So to take a look at it to see where we're at.
But
and
those aren't,
if you'd like
those
to.
aren't the ones that you mentioned in your report.
Those plans for Parkitex?
No, you talked about swings. There's nothing in those.
No, and there are swings in, just in my comments. There's no pavilion, there's no volleyball, there's no
I know, but I'm
dog park.
saying, if you're, in your comment, you're talking about a different type of swing, then you need to be talking to Parkitect about swings.
Yeah, I'm just letting you see what research
already
has
saw
been
that.
done, what research has been done. If anybody wants to see
I already have that.
That's great, but there's more research that needs to be done.
But, and then we need to talk to Parkitect about the 5, whatever they're recommending for 5
5
to
to
12.
12-year-olds, yep. They did have 5 to 12, but they didn't include the swings.
Well, nobody told them about it. That's what I mean. I mean, somebody needs
Yep.
to call them and say, well, exactly whatever you were told about the swings, because they can't give us a recommendation if they don't know.
Yep.
But that's something that we need to work through the Recreation Commission with.
I just have one other, oh, hi, Chris. Our new justice of the peace, is that what you call it? The
Town
ju-
Justice.
Town Justice just walked in, Chris Klinger, he just walked in, everyone. So, I guess a question for you. Marie, do Jim and I get to keep these to add them to our collections?
If you would like, absolutely.
When I left my firm in New York, they had a plaque there with my name on it. And one of the associates said, well, don't you think that Mr. Morris should take this when he leaves the firm? She said, well, we may have another James Morris someday.
They wanted to
It's
recycle your
yours.
plaque?
You put it in your living room.
Oh, my
Up on the mantle.
Yeah, right next to the others that I have. Say, I'm this.
Do we need a resolution, Ian, to
Get rid of the
discard property?
surplus.
Yeah. Surplus plaques.
So there's a motion started.
There is a
I think he
motion.
wants to say a lot more
on,
to
Jim.
it,
I
right?
move that we adjourn.
Bring us
And there's
home,
a
Jim.
Second it.
Michelle.
One last time.
One last time.
9:16. Play the numbers, you two.
Okay.
9:16.
Have yourselves a merry little Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.